Welcome viewers and history enthusiasts to a profound journey into our ancient past. Over 4,000 ancient stone seals were found, yet no one alive can read them today. They built a massive, peaceful empire without weapons, but vanished without leaving a trace. With just 5 symbols per text, our most powerful supercomputers remain completely baffled. What dark secret hides within the Indus script that continues to haunt modern science today? Journey back to the 3rd millennium before Christ, where the Indus Valley thrived in pure harmony. Look at the majestic city of Mohenjo-Daro, a masterclass of grid planning and urban design. Ancient craftsmen sat in busy workshops, carefully shaping soft steatite blocks with copper chisels. These dedicated artisans carved thousands of small seals, each no larger than a tiny postage stamp. Over 60% of these artifacts display a mythical creature we call the Harappan unicorn.
He will fetch a high price.
Others feature the mighty zebu bull, a majestic beast symbolizing raw power and divine authority. But the most puzzling feature is the short line of strange symbols resting quietly above every animal. Wealthy merchants tied these precious stone seals securely to their wrists before sailing across the ocean. These ancient maritime traders exported fine cotton, rare spices, and shining carnelian beads far away. Upon reaching the vibrant ports of Mesopotamia, they pressed their seals firmly into wet clay lumps. This ingenious method functioned perfectly as a sophisticated barcode for international commerce. It guaranteed that the valuable cargo remained sealed and entirely untouched during the long voyage. For hundreds of years, this brilliant economic network enriched the peaceful people of the Indus River. They built a remarkably equal society, completely ignoring grand palaces and cruel dictators. Their magnificent infrastructure focused entirely on public well-being, like advanced drainage systems. Surprisingly, historians have never found a single trace of military weapons or standing armies there. A massive civilization chose the path of ultimate peace, focusing only on trade and daily prosperity. Their unique written language flowed freely across vast territories, binding the peaceful people together. The script was proudly displayed on clay pots, copper tablets, and heavy cargo leaving the bustling ports. However, this glorious era of endless peace and grand trade routes was tragically destined to collapse. Fast forward to modern times, where dusty archaeological archives hide an unbearable nightmare. Generations of brilliant linguists have completely failed to read a single Indus Valley symbol. Why does this specific ancient code remain stubbornly unbroken despite a century of intense research? Unlike the famous Egyptian hieroglyphs, the Indus civilization left absolutely no bilingual texts. We will never find a magical Rosetta Stone to easily translate these mysterious ancient characters. The Harappan language exists in total isolation, completely disconnected from any known human tongue. But the most terrifying obstacle for modern scholars is the incredibly short length of the messages. The average inscription found by archaeologists contains a mere 5 characters from start to finish. The absolute longest text ever discovered throughout the entire region has only 26 symbols. Such extreme brevity provides absolutely no structural context for experts to deduce complex grammar rules. Exhausted researchers sit hunched over messy desks, staring desperately through heavy magnifying glasses. They carefully analyze thousands of tiny impressions, hoping to find a hidden grammatical pattern. Some symbols look like simple fish, while others resemble standing humans holding a long hunting spear. But without a longer text to provide proper context, these beautiful pictures remain totally silent. Traditional scholars firmly believe this script represents an early version of the Dravidian language. They argue that the descendants of Mohenjo-Daro migrated south, taking their spoken language with them. Others propose a strong connection to ancient Vedic Sanskrit, trying to match signs with religious hymns. Yet every single proposed translation faces harsh criticism, ultimately leading to academic dead ends. Frustration heavily fills the dim archives as aging professors realize their entire life's work might fail. The silent stones refuse to surrender their secrets, keeping the voices of the ancients locked far away. If you found an ancient text with only 5 strange symbols, how would you begin to decode its meaning? At the dawn of the 21st century, a shocking new theory violently disrupted the academic world. A controversial scholar named Steve Farmer boldly declared that everyone had been fundamentally wrong. Standing proudly before his peers, he presented a radical idea that sparked massive academic outrage. He argued forcefully that the famous Indus script was never a true spoken language in the first place. According to his deeply debated paper, these characters functioned merely as non-linguistic symbols. He suggested they were simply magical crests, family logos, or badges indicating social rank and power. Just like modern traffic signs or corporate logos, they conveyed basic concepts without recording speech. This theory perfectly explains why the texts are incredibly short and lack any complex grammatical structure. If a merchant stamped a jar with his family crest, he wouldn't need to write a long poetic sentence. Outraged traditionalists immediately attacked this provocative theory, defending the ancient writing system. Red-faced professors slammed their heavy documents on tables, loudly shouting across crowded lecture halls. They fiercely argued that denying the script strips the mighty Indus civilization of its greatest glory. How could such a highly advanced and mathematically precise society function without a written language? The fierce intellectual battle raged on, dividing the global archaeological community into hostile camps. Both sides published aggressive papers, pointing to the exact same stone seals to prove their opposite points. One side sees the glorious origins of Indian literature, while the other sees a simple barcode system. The stubborn steatite stones offer no clarification, leaving modern humanity deeply divided and confused. As human experts reach a bitter stalemate, the quest for truth demands a completely new kind of intelligence. We must abandon our emotional human biases and rely solely on the cold logic of pure mathematics. The ultimate burden of decoding the past now falls directly onto the glowing shoulders of modern machines. Could these symbols merely be ancient street signs, or do they hold the lost voice of a forgotten empire? We now enter the sterile environment of high-tech laboratories, surrounded by glowing quantum computers. Brilliant data scientists step forward to analyze the ancient symbols using powerful machine learning. They feed thousands of transcribed characters into advanced algorithms to measure conditional entropy. This complex statistical method measures the inherent predictability and order within any sequence of signs. A completely random sequence has maximum entropy, while a rigid pattern shows zero flexibility. True human language perfectly balances between chaotic randomness and strict, unbreakable, rigid rules. As the supercomputers crunch the ancient data, researchers watch the cascading blue code with wide eyes. The digital results finally appear on the holographic screens, leaving the data scientists totally shocked. The artificial intelligence confirms that the Indus symbols display a highly flexible structural pattern. Their statistical order lands precisely in the middle ground, closely matching natural human languages. However, the exact same mathematical result can also apply to complex systems of non-linguistic signs. The supercomputers, despite their incredible processing power, deliver a deeply ambiguous final verdict. Artificial intelligence proves there is profound logic, but it cannot translate a single silent word. Human limitation and mathematical boundaries collide, leaving the ultimate mystery completely unsolved. Meanwhile, we look back at the tragic collapse of the magnificent Mohenjo-Daro over 4 millennia ago. A rapidly shifting climate and a dying river forced the peaceful citizens to abandon their beloved homes. Emaciated families stumbled blindly through blinding sandstorms, leaving their glorious brick cities behind. Without a single violent war, the greatest peaceful empire the ancient world had ever seen simply dissolved. Their language, whether spoken words or magical symbols, died quietly along with their forgotten creators. The majestic Harappan unicorn and the mighty zebu bull remain forever silent in the dust of history. Was the Indus script a true spoken language, or just an ancient family logo? Do you think we will ever crack this ancient code? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this mystery, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos.